Hello everyone, my name is Clantus and welcome to the Clan. So without further ado, let's get into this video. But before I get into the video, I just want to say thank you so much to the 1,000 people that actually adhered to the call of action. And I told you guys that in order for the channel to grow and in order for YouTube to keep the channel going, is for you to click the like button. You don't necessarily have to subscribe, but I do ask you to subscribe. The most important metric for YouTube is the like button, because it gives the YouTube algorithm an indication that people actually enjoy this content. So if you're not going to smash the like button, YouTube then will think that people are not interested in this content, and therefore it does not push it to more people that may be interested in the content. Eventually, YouTube will wipe the channel off the platform because it renders it as useless. So if this content is useful to you, in order for it to continue to exist, click the like button for me. Click the like button for other YouTubers as well that you watch, because it's the same thing for them as well. If you are watching the video but you have not subscribed yet, I ask you, please click the like button as well as consider subscribing, because it is good for you to be part of the clan. So if my voice is sounding a little bit weird, that's because as of yesterday, I ate a pineapple, and I know that pineapple burns my esophagus as well as my lips, and my voice have a tendency of shaking a little bit. So I'm kind of like recovering from that. And secondly, the reason why this video is going to be a little bit short is because the Wi-Fi is acting up, because load shedding does that. So I do not want to serve a video that you guys are going to watch probably after midnight because of its length. So it's going to be a very short one. And the only thing that I'm going to talk about in this video is what I observed in the North Gauteng High Court today in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial. I'm not even sure where we are going to at this particular point in time, because Advocate Baloyi keeps wasting taxpayers' monies, as well as Judge Ratha, who's assisting the state in wasting taxpayers' money by continuing with this fracas of a case, which is fabricated, as I've indicated in my previous video. So understand, he is another police officer. I think he's Mukhane, and he is, I'm not quite sure what that guy is talking about. At this point, he was even caught by Advocate Zulu that something ain't right. And I've been saying it since I've started watching this guy, like something ain't right about this guy, but we'll get to what was not right about him as he was busy testifying. Because I remember in the SABC chat live, I was like, get originals of everything that this witness is talking about, because they get copies, they don't get the originals. And I'm sure there is somewhere there is going to be a mismatch. And boy, there was a mismatch. And then we'll talk about it when we get there. But the first thing, when he opened his mouth this morning, he was making corrections. Oh, there's a mistake here. And I counted how many mistakes during his testimony today that he brought to the court. 11. 11 mistakes. 11 mistakes. This is a statement supposedly written in 2020. But we found out late today that the statement he was reading from was made in 2023. In 2023. Case numbers wrong. Everything is just like wrong dates are wrong, years are wrong. And you're like, is this a police officer? How many times has this police officer since 2002 has he taken the stand and testified before a court of law? Because surely he should have known that these mistakes need to be dealt with prior to the documents are being discovered to all parties and the court itself. But no, they wait until he is on the stand and then he's making corrections while delivering his evidence in chief. And the judge, you could hear a penny drop on this side of the bench. And then you are thinking, if these mistakes were being brought up by the defense, the judge would not be happy. The judge will be sitting on their throat and making sure that none of these documents, or whatever the case might be, jeopardizes the state's case. Because he's the gatekeeper of the state's case. The judge that is presiding over this matter of Senzo Meyiwa's murder trial is presiding over a murder trial that is unfair. The main trial, as well as this particular trial itself, the trial within a trial. He is making sure that he squeezes the life out of the defense. But no, he lets Baloyi do as he pleases. All these corrections, the judge should have said, wait a minute, whoa, 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 whoa. I am here presiding on a matter that involves people's lives. There are two gentlemen within this trial that we are going to be talking about, and possibility of all of this throwing them in prison for a crime they did not commit is highly likely right now. I will not preside over a trial that is unfair to the accused. No, he's quiet. The judge ought to have acquitted accused number 1 and 2 the moment that he heard from the previous witnesses that have taken the stand thus far in the trial within a trial, and realized that accused number 2 did not see a court within 48 hours. He was not charged within 48 hours. Accused number 1 being taken from pillar to post, being arrested in Tembisa and ending up in Pretoria jurisdictions. He should have said, I cannot preside over this trial within a trial because already Section 35 of the Constitution has been violated with the 48 hours wouldn't dance it. And with jurisdiction with accused number 1, which is Sibiya. But no, this judge is happy to preside over an unfair trial. But when the defense gets up and say, hey, something is not right here, he shuts them down. Like, not even shuts them down. He puts his foot on their neck and squeezes. Advocate Mngomezulu walked in a very volatile and hostile environment in the courtroom of Ratha. He tried today to lift his neck off the pressure of Ratha's foot. He managed to little push it out, but still Ratha pushed back down because he's the judge. He has that power and he can abuse it nilly-willy. I was like, what on earth is going on? Guys, I wish I had something tangible to tell you in this video. Everything that was being testified by this witness, lies, deceiving the court, completely deceiving the court. And you can tell that Ratha is happy with the deception that he is receiving. And then the other thing that the judge should have inquired if he's really presiding over a fair trial is that accused number 1, no, Ntanzi, because today the spotlight was on Ntanzi. The spotlight came back to Ntanzi and it was shining on him, and then it was talking about his arrest in Phokeng. Is it Phokeng? Somewhere in the northwest, Carltonville, because he was working in Carltonville. And they had gone there to search for a hoodie. So while they were searching for a hoodie, guess what they come across? A black plastic bag with live ammunition. They ask him and say, hey, do you have license for this? He doesn't say anything. Doesn't this ring a bell to you? Remember, I can't remember if it was Masondo who was testifying on accused number 3 when they went to make an arrest at his house, remember, in Chippistown. And then they went into his house because they politely asked him if they can make a search or do a search. And he said, oh, by all means necessary. What kind of a criminal, knowing fully well that he has things that are illegal in his house, and says, oh, by all means necessary, go check, do whatever you need to do. And then apparently this is the same thing that Ntanzi did. But Ntanzi said he was not even there when the police broke into his room and came back with this so-called ammunition. They had no search warrant for accused number 3. They also have no search warrant for accused number 2. And then again, you may say that a search warrant, it is there are different circumstances that police are allowed to do a search without a warrant. but they already knew they were going there, and this is of a high-profile case, and if they want to close all the loopholes, go and get a search warrant. Go and get a warrant of arrest, and that way your case is solid. There will be no questions. Oh, but then, no, this police, he says everything was being done well. He was cooperative. He was, he was giving them permission. And then when they asked him about the ammunition, he's like, no, he just kept quiet. He said nothing. Accused number 3 also didn't say anything until Masondo started threatening them both with his girlfriend. Said, if you're not going to say anything, I'm going to arrest both of you. And that's when accused number 3, protecting his girlfriend, and said, oh yeah, they are mine. Now, this particular witness says, then I'm going to have to arrest you for impossession of illegal ammunition. And that's how he was arrested. What about the hoodie? What happened to the hoodie? The original trip to Ntanzi's room was to go to search for a hoodie without a search warrant. Instead, they find a black plastic bag with ammunition. What a logical person can say, yeah, this is actually makes sense. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Because you're dumb. And then the whole story of Nongoma, and that I was very confused about that one. I was not following the case in the beginning with Maumela, and apparently the whole matter of Nongoma case was actually resolved, and apparently the charges were withdrawn because there was not sufficient evidence that Ntanzi was involved in the killing of some person in KwaNongoma. And now I'm like, now why is this case? Because again, this is double jeopardy. Why are they bringing a double jeopardy matter onto the table? And why is Ratha Mukwatleng quiet about it? And why is Advocate Baloyi entertaining a double jeopardy matter? Do you see how much he's wasting the court's time, wasting taxpayers' money by bringing a case that it was already thrown out? Then apparently while they were busy with him in KwaNongoma with Ntanzi, was asked about Senzo Meyiwa. What does he know about Senzo Meyiwa's death? He said, no, I saw it on television. It was all over the news about Senzo Meyiwa. And then he tells him that actually you are a suspect in this case. I can imagine how shocked he must have been. Like, what? What are you talking about? I was at work. And then they said, okay, show us where you work. He says, I work in Carltonville, but he says Western area. I'm not quite sure if Carltonville is in Western area, but apparently he was saying the Western area. So they wanted to take him there so that he can point that this is where he worked. And on the 26th of October 2014, he was at work. We know that Ntanzi on Sunday and Saturdays, he doesn't work. But we know also that he had a do back home with his girlfriend. So now, what exactly was this man talking about? And the funny part was about how he was actually telling the court about what's on black and white. Like how police ought to deal with things according to what's written down. A good practice. We know that the police in South Africa did not follow good practice. They don't. They don't. If they did, we will not have the levels of crime that we have in this country. We will not. And the other thing that actually shocked me was that Ntanzi is a Zulu speaker. And yet the witness say he spoke to him in 3 languages. He spoke to him in isiZulu, spoke to him in Setswana, and spoke to him in English. And I'm like, but what does Section 35 says? So if I'm Ntanzi, I'll be like, I did not understand a word he was saying in Tswana or Pedi or Afrikaans or English. All I know, Mina, is Zulu. Same goes with his rights. His rights were read. I was like, what is this man trying to do? Maybe he watched a video of mine where I talked about sometimes I feel like the defense need to ask these police officers to recite the Section 35 of the Constitution. You know, the first part of the Section 35. You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have a right to an attorney if you don't have one. One will be provided for you by the state free of charge. But he was like stumbling over that, and I'm like, okay. The other shocking part for me was that he was taken to court and he was represented by, you guessed it, Mjiako, Dominic Mjiako. Dominic Mjako represented accused number 2 in the ammunition case. I think that is if I heard correctly, because at this point, my Wi-Fi people was jumping. It was playing games. I was no longer seeing what was happening in court because it would be buffering and all of that. And I was working from home today, which was a great thing. And I'm thinking, what's happening, people? What's happening with my Wi-Fi? What's going on in the Gauteng High Court? What is this man lying about? Because that's all he was doing. Eventually, it came through and I heard the parts where he was represented by Mjako. Sometimes Mjako will not be present during his appearances. Sometimes he would be, he would be appearing. And I'm thinking, you know what? We need to have Mjako understand. Not only do we need Mjako understand, but we also need the magistrate that heard Ntanzi's case. And then what happened thereafter? What did the magistrate know about this particular suspect or accused at that point in time? And what was the conclusion of that particular case regarding the illegal ammunition? So eventually we get to the part that shocked me and left me with my jaw on the floor. The statement that was being read by the witness. And I could tell that something ain't right about this witness from the morning. And I kept saying at the SABC live chat, I think the defense need to ask for originals from everything this man is saying, because something ain't right. And then African Gomez Zulu, after lunchtime, the long break, he picked it up. He was like, wait a minute. He stood up and then he wanted to know, basically addressing the court, he wanted to know, where is the witness reading from? Is he reading from original written, like his handwritten statement, or is reading from the type statement that they also have? Because from what I could tell from African Gomez Zulu, there are two different things that he is hearing and what he's seeing on the table that was submitted to him or discovered to him by Baloyi. And of course, a little scuffle, not exactly a scuffle, but more like a back and forth between the judge and the witness, wanting to know, where are your handwritten notes? And guess what happened? They got shredded. Why they got shredded? Because they faded. The words faded. He could not read. Right here, I have a book that is about 4 years old. Inside this book, I used to write some notes. It's 4 years old. Do you see? I don't know if you'll be able to see. Do you see words? Do you see words? Do you see words? They're still here. 4 years ago. But this statement was made this year in 2023. And the words faded. And therefore it was shredded. Zungu 2.0. At this point, I was thinking, oh my goodness, he's going to say, oh, my handwritten notes are in Polokwane or wherever he comes from in Limpopo. And then the court will adjourn and then he'll be escorted to Polokwane or to Limpopo to go get his handwritten notes. He comes back on Monday and say, Zungu 2.0. No, instead of the judge chastising the witness together with Baloyi, in fact, Baloyi, no, instead turns the tables on the defense, who actually objected to what they were hearing. Two different things. What's written, the statement they have, and what the witness is saying, two different things. And then African Gomez Zulu stood his ground when Ratha was tramping on his neck, obviously figuratively. He said no. He submits that the statement is fabricated. And then I was asking about Gininda himself. Gininda, he is a referee and a player. This is the same person who is the head investigator. Not only is he a head investigator, but he's also a commissioner of oath. Like, isn't that a conflict of interest? Of course, if the original notes are not there, African Gomez Zulu is correct to make the assumption that this statement that is now being read out in court is a fabrication where Gininda is involved. Oh no, the judge was like, no, fabricated by who? Fabricated by who? No. I'm like, bro, calm down. Let the state be the one that asks those questions. Who is the person that fabricated the statement? Not you as a judge who once again comes into the arena and plays. He becomes the prosecutor, the judge, as well as the witness. He goes and says, yeah, this statement was made, and then I'm learning new things about statements. I'm like, okay, so I can walk into a court of law without my statement because it is me who went through that. I witnessed that with my own 2 eyes, and therefore take it from me that this is the truth. There is no proof. There is no signature. There is no commissioner of oath, nothing. And then I will walk away like, wow, at least I got to tell my truth. Because that's exactly what Ratha was telling Advocate Mngomezulu, that take his word. Take his word. Take his word for what? Where are the original written notes? That is what we want, and that is what Mngomezulu needs to stick on. Otherwise, I think Mngomezulu, as well as all the other defense lawyers, they need to do is lodge an application against Ratha Mokgotleng. Let's clip this bird of its wings. Just launch an application against Ratha Mokgotleng. He is presiding over an unfair trial. He is presiding over an unfair trial within a trial. He's made up his mind. He is with the state. And I keep saying this, that Ratha Mokgotleng is sleeping with the state. And he gets every chance that he gets. He wants to play in the arena and defend for the state. What kind of a judge is that? Ratha Mokgotleng is putting the judiciary into disrepute. So those are my thoughts, guys. If you like the video, give it a like. If you didn't like the video, give it a like. Anyways, do subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget to click the bell notification so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everybody that's super thanking the channel and supporting it financially. You guys, thank you so much for this. May you be blessed abundantly. Do leave me a comment down below and let me know, what did you think about what happened in the court today? I am fuming, guys. I am furious. I don't want to lie. Furious. And do share this video far and wide. Also, do not forget to like other YouTubers' videos and subscribe to their channels, because the algorithm is still waiting for you after watching their videos. I will see you next time with a new video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.